welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Today, we're doing something a little different. Usually we're, tearing apart business trends or looking at the future of AI. But today, we're tackling a subject that I think everyone assumes is simple until they're actually standing there completely frozen.
I think I know that feeling you're talking about, yeah.
We're talking about saying hello, specifically in German.
It sounds so trivial, doesn't it? Just
Well,
saying hello. It's like the first thing in every textbook. But if you've ever tried to navigate a real-world German social situation with just a phrase book, you realize pretty quickly it's a minefield.
It really is. I used to think language learning was just data entry.
Yeah.
Table is Tisch, apple is apple, done. But we've got this fascinating source material today. It's a lesson document called Foundations of German Greetings and Etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And what jumped out at me immediately is that this isn't just about the words, it's about the rules of engagement. That is the perfect way to put it. This source, which calls itself a golden script for absolute beginners, makes a really compelling point right at the start. It basically says that in German, getting the word right but the social context wrong, that can lead to some seriously awkward situations.
Right. So our mission today is to guide you through that. We're going to look at why you treat your dog differently than your neighbor linguistically, why the time of day changes everything, and how to avoid sounding like a walking textbook.
And I think the key theme here, and the source really emphasizes this, is the whole idea of social distance. German culture, or at least the language, places a very high value on knowing exactly where you stand with the person you're talking to.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The source material starts with what I'm calling the golden rule of German social life. Before you even open your mouth, you have to answer one question. Who am I talking to?
Yes, this is the famous du versus sie. And for English speakers, this is often the hardest hurdle to clear mentally. We have it so easy. You is just you.
Right. The queen is you, my toddler is you.
Exactly. The guy who cut me off in traffic is you. It's the great equalizer.
It's democratic.
But in German, that you splits into two completely different realities. You have the informal du and the formal sie. And mixing them up isn't just a grammar mistake. The source frames it as a real social error.
Okay, let's dig into C first, the formal one. The source says this is the default. You use it for bosses, strangers, elderly people.
And in official settings, it specifically calls out doctors and police officers.
And that creates a very clear boundary, right?
It does. Think about the psychology of it. When you use sie, you are verbally acknowledging, I don't know you intimately, or I respect your position. It creates a buffer.
A buffer, like a shield.
More like a protective layer of privacy. If you walked up to a police officer in Berlin and used the informal du, you aren't just being friendly, you're actually being kind of rude.
You could be seen as aggressive even.
Yeah, you're dismantling a barrier that they expect to be there.
It's like walking into someone's house without knocking.
Yeah.
You're assuming a level of access you haven't earned.
Precisely. In America especially, we try to break down barriers immediately. We say, call me Bob. In German, the sie maintains that respectful distance until you are invited closer. It's not coldness, it's a form of respect.
That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have du, the informal you. The source says this is for friends, family, fellow students. But this is where it gets really interesting for me. The source includes a specific list of who gets into this inner circle.
I noticed that too.
It lists friends, family, and pets.
And pets, yeah. It really highlights the emotional logic of the language.
Right, so let me get this straight. If I'm talking to my golden retriever, I use du. I'm on an informal basis with my dog, but my neighbor, who I've lived next to for 5 years but we're not close friends, I might still be using sie with him.
That is entirely possible. In fact, it's pretty common.
That seems wild to an English speaker. I talk to the dog the same way I talk to my wife, but the neighbor is in the police officer category.
It says something about what intimacy means in German culture, right? The dog is part of the family, the emotional barrier is down. The neighbor, that's a civil relationship. You maintain a polite distance. The language forces you to categorize every single relationship.
So if I'm standing in a bakery in Munich, panicking, which way should I lean?
Play it safe, always. If in doubt, stick with sie. It's always better to be a little too polite than too familiar. It's much, much harder to walk back an accidental du.
I can't imagine. Sorry, I meant to treat you like a stranger, not a friend.
Exactly, it's just awkward. Stick to sie until someone offers you the du.
Got it. Step 1, analyze the target. Now, once we've figured out who we're talking to, the source moves us to when we're talking to them.
Yes, the clockwork of greetings.
I love how precise this is. The source breaks the day down into these strict time slots. It feels very German.
Stereotypes often come from somewhere, but it provides a really helpful, structured framework for a learner.
So what's our timeline? Walk me through a day.
Okay, starting the day. Until about 11 a.m., we are in Guten Morgen territory. Good morning.
Standard enough. But then, at 11 a.m. sharp, we switch
To Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. The source calls this the most common formal greeting. It runs from about 11 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. That's a long shift.
And that's a key distinction. In English, we might say good morning until noon. But Guten Tag is the workhorse of German greetings. It's professional, it's polite, it's for when business happens.
It feels very neutral, Guten Tag. It's not overly happy, it's not sad. It's just a statement of fact.
It's functional, and it works perfectly with the C formality we just talked about. They go hand in hand. It's the standard business uniform of language.
And then after 6 p.m., we switch to Guten Abend. Good evening.
Simple enough.
But wait, there's a wild card. The source mentions the universal option.
Hello.
That's hello.
To me, this feels like a cheat code. If I'm panicked, can I just throw out a hello and be safe?
Mostly yes. It is the great safety net.
Yeah.
But, and there's always a but, remember the hierarchy.
The hierarchy trap again. Hello is friendlier, a little less formal than Guten Tag. If you're meeting a very conservative CEO or an older person you want to show great respect to, hello might feel a bit breezy.
A little too casual, like walking into a boardroom and saying, hey there.
Maybe not quite that casual, but close. It lacks that crisp formality. For, 90% of your daily interactions, hello is totally fine. It saves you from checking your watch. But just, read the room.
Okay, so let's say our listener wants to graduate from the safety net. They want to start blending in. The source has a whole section on regional variations.
This is where the language really comes alive. Germany isn't a monolith, and the greetings really reflect that.
First one is for the North Hamburg Bremen, and it is my absolute favorite, Moin.
Moin, it's brilliant in its efficiency.
It is. The source says you can use it 24/7, midnight, noon, doesn't matter, just Moin.
It reflects the northern temperament pretty well. It's understated, direct, no nonsense. You don't need a flowery greeting, just Moin. We acknowledge each other, we move on.
And sometimes they say it twice, right? Moin, moin.
They do, though there's a joke that for a true northerner, saying it twice is practically idle chatter. One moin is enough.
I love that. Okay, so that's the chilly, efficient north. Now let's go south. Bavaria, maybe Austria. The source gives us service.
Service. This is a fascinating word. It comes from Latin, meaning at your service.
That sounds really formal.
Historically, yes. But now it's just a friendly, warm greeting, and it has a superpower, according to the source.
Multitasker.
Yep. It means both hello and goodbye.
That is efficient in a totally different way. You walk into the pub, service. You leave, service. It's the aloha of Bavaria.
It is. But then if you go even deeper into the south, or into more rural areas, you hit the third variation, Grüß Gott.
Grüß Gott, which the source translates literally as greet God.
Which can be a little startling for an English speaker.
Yeah, if someone walked up to me and said, greet God, I'd probably think they were trying to convert me.
Right. But in southern Germany, it's largely lost that specific religious meaning in everyday use. It's just the standard, polite way to say hello. It shows you respect the local traditions.
So we have the efficient moin, the flexible service, and the traditional Grüß Gott.
It really shows you're paying attention.
Okay, we've said hello, we've established hierarchy, checked the clock, picked our region. Now comes the part that terrifies me, small talk. The source brings up, how are you?
Ah, the classic trap.
Why is it a trap? In English, how are you is just a sound we make. I don't actually want to know about your back pain.
Exactly. It's social glue. But the source explicitly warns that in German, this is a genuine question. They take it literally.
They do.
If you ask a German, wie geht's? That's the informal version. Be prepared for an actual answer, not just good. They might really tell you.
So you have to be committed to the conversation. You can't just do a drive-by greeting.
You really can't. If you ask, you are signing a contract to listen. And of course, the source gives us two versions. The informal, wie geht's, and the formal, wie geht es Ihnen?
There's that formal structure again. It never takes a break.
Never. But the source does give us a safe, standard answer. Good. Danke.
Good, thanks. Short, sweet, and stops the conversation right there.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, speaking of essential words, the source has a few magic words. We have Danke and Entschuldigung. but I want to focus on beat.
Bitte is arguably the most useful word for a beginner in German.
The source highlights its versatility. It means please, but it also means you're welcome.
It's the Swiss Army knife of words. You hand someone money. Beat.
Okay.
They say thank you. You say beat. You didn't hear what someone said. You ask beat.
So it's all about tone.
Completely. A soft bit is an offer. A sharp beat is a demand for clarification.
So if you forget every other word, just remember beat.
I wouldn't recommend it long term, but it'll get you through your first day.
All right, we're nearing the end of our interaction. We need to make an exit.
Farewells. And we're back to the formality scale.
Of course we are. So what's the informal way out?
The source gives us tschüss.
Tschüss. I love that sound. The source gives the pronunciation as tschüss. It sounds so breezy.
It is. It's light. It's friendly. It's what you say to a friend. It matches do.
But I'm not going to yell tschüss at my boss.
Probably not. For that, you need the heavyweight champion of farewells. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. It sounds so much more serious.
It's poetic, really. The source breaks it down. Wieder means again, and sehen means to see, until we see each other again.
Oh, I like that. It's not just bye. It's a statement of intent.
It has a certain gravity, and there's an intermediate option. Bis bald.
See you soon.
Right. But there is one final trap the source warns us about. A classic mistake.
I think I know this one. It's Gute Nacht.
Yes, good night.
In English, I'm leaving a dinner party at 8 p.m. I might say, good night, everyone.
If you do that in Germany with Gute Nacht, people might look at you funny. The source is very clear. Gute Nacht is only used when someone is actually going to sleep.
So if I say it at 8 p.m., they think I'm going to curl up on their couch.
Or that you're heading straight to bed the moment you walk out the door. It signals the absolute end of consciousness for the day.
That is hilarious. So I'm telling the whole party, I'm going to put on my pajamas right now.
Exactly. You'd still use Auf Wiedersehen or Tschüss in that situation. Gute Nacht is strictly for bedtime.
That is a crucial distinction.
It is. It's all about precision.
So let's recap this golden script. It feels like we've built a little survival kit.
I think so. First, the pillar of hierarchy. Du versus Sie. It's social navigation.
We've got the timeline, watch the clock, 11 a.m. is the cutoff, and hello is your safety net, but, know its limits.
Then regional flavor. Moin in the north, service in the south.
And we've learned how to say goodbye without accidentally telling everyone we're going to sleep.
Auf Wiedersehen for the boss. Tschüss for your buddy.
And the source's action step is great. Pick a combo, choose one greeting and one farewell, and just own it. Confidence covers a lot of mistakes. That's great advice. As we wrap up, I keep coming back to that do versus see thing. The idea that you use the same intimate language for your dog as you do for your best friend, but you keep your neighbor at arm's length.
Yeah.
That's really stuck with me.
It is a provocative thought. It suggests that in this cultural framework, intimacy isn't just about being human. It's about the absence of social performance. Animals don't judge you, so they get the do.
Wow. Society judges us, so it gets the see. That is surprisingly deep for a lesson on saying hello. It really makes you realize that language is never just words.
It's the DNA of the society.
Well, on that note, we hope this helps you navigate your next conversation without setting off any diplomatic incidents.
Indeed.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Tschüss.
Auf Wiedersehen.